Hello, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing Monday and welcome to the Reality Bang. I'm Yohann, your host for this session, and thank you for tuning in. That said, if you guys want to contribute to our topics, or have anything to say, or just want to tell us what an amazing job we're doing, you can reach out to us at 6364252164. Now, let's jump right into it. Today's topic is growing up, and we have two special guests for the show. We have Katherine and Natania. It's indeed a pleasure to have you guys on the show.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, good to be here.
So, for this edition of the Reality Bang, we are going to be having a discussion, and I'm going to be asking the two guests special questions, and we are going to give you guys a better viewpoint of this topic. So, my very first question is now, growing up, now, what exactly is the meaning or the meaning it had for you when you were still growing up, and what meaning does it have for you right now as an adult?
Growing up for me was, as a child, it was hoping for, a better future for me, I guess.
Okay.
Uh, Trying to experience more mature things and just trying to reach some things that my older fellow peers have gone through and just trying to, reach that. But now I think I always look back and I'm like, oh, my childhood, you know, wow, I did this, and it's just like I have a story to tell,
Of
and
course.
yeah, so it's very opposing viewpoints, but yeah, part of growing
So,
up. I guess.
so what about you, Natania?
For me, I would say when I was a kid, growing up meant being taken seriously
Mhm.
because it always seemed like, adults, always agreed and, were taken seriously, like, what they said goes. And I think as a kid, that's something that all of us go through, being taken seriously. Because, I mean, how many of us have, heard, you're just a kid, you don't know what you're talking about. And that used to irk me when I was a child, and I used to be like, take me seriously for once. So growing up for me when I was a kid was being taken seriously, having this life where no one tells you what to do, and you're free, and you can just do whatever you want. I think, yeah, that was what growing up meant or adulthood meant for
Mhm.
me. But then now as an adult, I think growing up would be responsibilities, because you have so much to do, like you have to always be on top of everything, and sort of not fall back, because falling back would have very severe repercussions. And I feel like, yeah, like how she said, looking back now is like, oh, I wish I was a kid still. But then also growing up just, I don't know, means experiencing life for me right now, and just getting through this journey that we call life. Yeah, that's my viewpoint.
Very interesting points. Mine is also very similar. So when I was very young, a wee boy, I used to think like, okay, growing up is, to a point where nobody can tell you anything. Like I can leave the house whenever I want. I can come back whenever
Yeah.
I want. So it's basically
Yeah.
like I'm staying in a hotel, where nobody can ask you what are you up to. But now as an adult I feel like okay, nothing has really changed because still you have to tell them where you're going, you have to tell them when you're
Mhm.
coming. Sometimes I don't do that, and of course consequences are faced the very next day because yeah, your parents are going to be parents even when you're all rich, famous, even when you're
Yeah.
like above 40, having your own family, having your own kids, they're still going to be your parents, so you can't
True, true.
really say anything to that. But of course now coming to grown up life and I'm right now in it, so there's one crazy thing about me, like I love challenges no matter how bad they are. Of course I
Mhm.
don't like taking too much of stress because I'm too young for stress, just saying. So the thing is, like, see, when you face challenges and you know how to tackle them, you don't really
Mhm.
get stressed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's a very good thing I learned when I was a child, and that's when all these things started to um, wind themselves in this system. And coming to adulthood, like there are a few cases like where I wish like okay, I've been back in my childhood,
Mhm.
Mhm.
because like talk about like there's a lot of pressure when you're an adult, you have to, do a lot of things. You have to get a good job, you have to get a good, what do you say, good family, you have to get good
Mm.
kids, you have to get
Yeah.
some certain level, which I don't want all of those things. It's all too
Mhm.
complicated. I just want to be happy in life. And that's the thing, like most people, they don't really get, like most people in society, even your parents, for example, they don't really get that simple understanding of you. Of course, you're making money or you are enjoying your life, but they're like, okay, there's more to life than what you're just doing. And I feel like, okay, let me figure it out. You tell me that later. So that's the kind of thing what growing up means to me. So I'll just ask you the second question now. What memento did you guys have when you were growing up or when you were a kid? Because nowadays, like many people keep a small memento, like even if it's a small book or a small pen or even a brooch or something like that. So what did you guys have?
Mm.
What did I have?
Yeah,
I'm the youngest sibling
uh,
in my house. So I
and
have an
what
older.
significance did these things have for you?
Okay, so I have an older sibling, an
Hmm.
older brother,
Hmm.
and well, he was a reader, so he had like tons and tons of books. And well, it's technically not mine, but I used to read all of the books that he finished reading, and so I would say that's one memento. But like I said, it's not exactly mine per se. For me, I would say, what did I keep from my childhood? Um, oh yeah, there's one thing that I did keep from my childhood. So my grandmother had knit me a dress when I was like a baby, and I think that's something that I still have somewhere in my shelf. And it's probably because it's something precious, right? Like your grandparents, they're not
Of
with you
course.
forever. So it's
Mhm.
something really precious that, oh, they did that for me when I was, and to think that I was one such like a tiny baby. So I think that's one thing for me. What
Mm.
about you?
I almost forgot about this memento, but because it's something that I've
Yeah.
had all throughout life. But I have this one sort of stuffed animal, like a teddy bear kind of, that my mom ended up sewing together for me. So she made it in when I was in third grade, so a very long time ago, and I still have it to this day. Everyone knows that if I'm going somewhere, they'd expect to see my teddy bear along with me. So it's practically traveled the world too. So yeah,
Oh, wow,
uh,
first time a teddy bear travels around the world.
yeah, exactly. Should be a world record.
Yeah, so I'll just give you a short thing about my. I carry this medal along with me, and my friends are asking like, "Why are you carrying your medal from all the way from third grade?" I was like, "It's my lucky charm.
Yeah.
I can't say no to my lucky charm. So
Mm.
anywhere I go, I just carry it because it's a symbol of luck. It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a symbol where I prospered once in my life. Of course, not
Mm.
saying I'm not prospering now, but still at that point it meant a lot. And
Yeah.
when I came to college, so in my first year we had this sports meet like between
Mhm.
classes. So they
Mm.
called it interclass competition or something like that. So there was a relay, exactly the same thing as the one in third grade. So just before the race, I just had my medal in my bag and I just looked at my medal and I was like, okay, yeah, let's see. I have to, get some luck for today. And I kept it back in my sports bag and I went for a practice run. So there was this particular state runner. He runs for Karnataka State, and we just had a practice race with him, like our team versus him alone. And we started off all together, and I ended up beating him by quite a mile. And I was like, "You're a state runner,"
Wow.
and a week earlier, that's all. I had a week of training. That's it. I did not run for like years at that point. I just had a week. And I ended up beating him and he was shocked. He's like, "Bro, for which club do you run for? Which association do you run for?" I was like, I just ran in PU, I guess. After that, I've never run. It's been like 2 years or something like that. And he's like, 2 years and you're running this crazily. I
Mm.
was like, what to do? Like at that point of time, it was a real gift. to
Yeah.
say, because I had some worn out spikes. It was not even my best spikes, some worn out pair I had. Of course, in the third year, I did end up getting good spikes, and I did end up getting a few medals after that. But that's a whole different
Mhm.
story.
Mm.
So at that time, like I can see him and the captain, like both of them are like, discussing, and they're like, what happened and all. I was like getting the feeling, okay, that might be threatened by me. And I was like, bro, I am not the guy who has years or hours of training. I just had a week of training. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, in the relay race, I ended up beating him because both of us were third, like the
Hmm.
third person to start race. And I did end up beating him by again quite a mile. And then at the end of the race, he was like, "Gosh, you're crazy." And I was like, he thought I was on something, like I had something in my system, and I was like, no, I didn't have anything. It's just water or maybe some juice I had. That's it. And he thought I was on something. I was like, no, strictly, I'm all natural. And let me tell you the amount of respect I gained from him after this. So he never knew who I was. I never knew who he was. And anytime we did cross paths, like in the college cafeteria or going to various blocks of the college, like he used to come to me and wish me good morning. I never knew where he was, but from wherever he was, he used to come and wish me like good morning or good afternoon or good evening, like how's your day going or which class do you have. And I was like, did I gain this much of respect just from beating you off a week of training? Like that's insane. But jokes aside, like that memento really helped me to gain a lot of confidence in places
Yeah.
I really didn't have confidence. Because
Mhm.
think about it, you're just doing a week and you come for a sports meet, and you're supposed to help your class gain to a better position. And a lot of pressure is there on you because you're the only sports person in the entire group of people who was running. The other guy, he had I was like, it went off again. Oh, it's on. Is back on, right? Yeah. So the main guy who was the anchor, he pulled his muscle in the practice race, and he was like, no, 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 he's still going to run. Of course, we did lose the relay, but at the end of the day, like we ended up getting a lot of respect from people who never never really respected us because we were known as the hamster division of the entire college. It was just a new course, so we were just the hamsters with the ball. And it was very good to get some recognition for the class.
Mhm.
So of course the memento did help me. So enough of mementos and all mushy things. So let's start off with the third question. So when you were growing up as a kid, now which was your real home? Now I'm not talking about the home you guys grew up in. Like nowadays most people consider their homes as a classroom or a stage, because many people spend most of their lives on the stage. So which was your real home as a kid?
Mm, so to start off, I have always been moving like constantly throughout my life. So I can't say that I have a specific home, but if I like not a specific place or a building or a structure, but if I look back at it now, I guess for me a home would be where my family is because
Hmm.
they've been with me throughout my life and like that's the only constant thing I've had. So yeah, I would say that my family would be, where I call home.
Now you're gonna make me look bad on what I'm going to say.
It's cheesy, but
That is not fair. Um, but he said that you can't say your home is. But anyway, moving on.
I mean, it's not really to one specific location. I mean,
Yeah,
she's
it can be
around the
any.
world, so yeah, it could be anything. Let's go with it.
But yeah, well, first and foremost, so that yeah, because I'm pretty sure my family is also going to be watching this, but not just for that. Like she said, family is constant. But if you're talking about apart from your home where you feel safe, I wouldn't say I felt at home anywhere in this world. I know that's going to make me sound very creepy, but like I would feel at home when I'm with my books, when I'm reading,
Hmm.
or be it music or movies. I would always feel at home because for me it always you're transported from this
To like
reality
yeah,
into
a
it's like
different
something
realm.
different,
Yeah.
and you're able to like shake off this world, the stress that you're having in this world, And yeah, growing up, it was books mostly, and then it started into music and movies. Music has always been a part of my life too.
Hmm.
So I'll have to say, but yes, family is first and very important as part of growing up. But yeah, if you're taking a secondary, I would say books. So
Mm.
yeah, that's my real home.
Lessons for life. Family is first and important. So for me, my home in concept, other than the actual home which I live in, for me it was quite oddly enough Sunday school.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
recently when I gave a talk about it to my team, they asked like, why specifically your Sunday school? I was like, that's the place where I actually grew.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
Mhm.
growth in many ways. So anytime we had a play, so we used to have this annual skit, and anytime we used to have that, I always used to get selected as the main person, because I don't know, like the roles were like oddly specific towards me. So at one point I I don't know, it's very odd. Like at one point I played a character of a class clown, and I pulled it off so greatly that the very next time they gave me an even better role of something suited towards, something funny, something that's,
Mm.
very joking, like not very serious, because being serious in life, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to learn to have fun in all of these things.
True. Very, very
Mm.
true.
So I love that place is because of the main skit. I used to wait the whole year of Sunday school just to get to that annual day. And once we got to that annual day, trust me, I used to rock. And I loved it so much. I loved the entire rehearsals. I loved the entire people who used to be on stage with me, and even people who I hated throughout the year. I used to find like actual respect for them on the day of the performance. And of course, people who I hated, please don't watch this. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I
But
think it's like it is vital part of growing up to have um apart from vanilla answers like hers, it is vital to sort of have something where to fall back
Mhm.
on.
mhm,
Be it anything, it's I feel like it's a good break because I can say from experience, you be in one place, you sort of start getting on people's nerves. So
exactly.
exactly, you need a break. Like you need to get out
Mhm.
of everyone's heads. So I think yeah, it's vital for people to have different homes per se. So it was a yeah valid point.
Exactly. Like even some people consider their classrooms as
Yeah,
home.
yeah.
For
Mhm.
me, if you ask me what was cool, I'll just say, has anyone been to jail before? That was cool for me. Of course, like we did have certain privileges which people in jail don't have, but still, with the way they treated you and the way they, kept classes and all, that was more of a jail. I say college, like this one specific professor, his class was jail. Literally, you can imagine a jail warden like being like, "You guys are not supposed to talk. You guys are not supposed to say anything. Don't laugh. Don't smile. Don't blink. Don't breathe. Just look at me and focus. Concentrate." Yeah, that was one of my college experiences which I didn't really like. So I wouldn't consider.
Yeah, but see,
Uh, s-
even in that experience, I feel like isn't that what made us want to be adults? Because you get that authority, that power, you have that control over all the
But
small.
but would you feel safe there?
As an adult, I would like. I mean, I have
no, 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 no,
authority
no, no.
over.
No,
Not,
no,
not,
no, 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 no.
but then what's
In that specific spot, trust me. Even if you're like the what do you say, the CEO of the world. Let's say there's some CEO of the world. If you sit in his class, I'm guaranteeing you, no matter how high of a position, how old are you, you are doing exactly what he says. I don't know. It's just a very odd experience. So moving on from all the scary stuff of college and horrors. Uh, so what is the one skill or trait you developed when you were a kid, and that helped you right now in or helped you along the way to becoming an adult?
Hmm.
skill?
Skill or trait, anything.
I think the first thing that comes to me like right off the bat is like being patient and
Hmm.
and listening. Like, I've always been put in positions where I ended up, being the listener, I guess. And so sometimes I feel that it can be negative that, like, if I'm in a group setting, it's harder for me to start talking and, like, because I'm always used to listening to other people's viewpoints. But I could say that it's really helped me when I'm talking to someone, like, in one on one. It's easy for me to just sit back and let someone just tell me all their worries and stuff. So yeah, that's something that's helped me now. Just being patient.
I don't think I can say that. I am the most impatient person you can find on planet Earth, and I'm pretty sure my parents can back me up on this. Because I need things done like this. Like, I cannot sit at one place. I don't think that's helpful for me right now. But in a way, it is, because I, like, people who know me know that I get work done
Mm.
no matter what the process is for getting there. But I wouldn't say
Mhm.
that's a skill that I've learned. I think a skill that I've learned is oh my gosh. Uh
I mean, even if you take getting work done, I mean, through any means necessary, most people, like, lack that skill. And I'll tell
Mhm.
you, like, I've been in certain positions where you have to get things done, like, no matter how harsh you have to be, how hard you have to be on your team or anything like that. And most people lack that, because I've seen many people quit. I've seen many people, go for retrains and all of that. And that's not a skill which everyone has. So you can consider that as a skill.
I think one thing that I can physically remember from my childhood is the ability to sort of understand other people that I
Hmm.
feel like I've had since a kid. Like, ever since I was a kid, I could, sort of sense when something is off. Not necessarily all the time though, because that has landed me up in trouble quite a number of times. But then I feel like that's still continued with me through my adulthood. I'm not, well, yeah, through growing up.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I feel like if say you're sitting across me and you're going through something, I feel like I I can, figure out that you're not okay and you need someone to talk to. I feel, is that how I did it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
so.
feel,
Yeah.
yeah, that's who I am. That's one skill that I have brought from my childhood.
Mm. Was there a specific thing that brought it out? Like can't get the word for it, but like a situation that started it off, I guess.
Situation that started it off was probably when, so me and my brother have 6 years difference between the
Mm-hmm.
two of us. So when, one second, he's not there.
Yeah, because he froze.
Uh,
Yeah.
and you're back. Okay.
Yeah.
So, situation. She was asking what situation brought out this skill of mine to listen to other people.
Hmm.
I think, yeah. So, like I was saying, me and my brother have 6 years difference, and when he was leaving for college, he had to go to a hostel away from us. And I think it
Okay.
was then when I sort of finally, you know, understood that other people have different emotions,
Hmm.
because what I was feeling to him leaving was different from what my mom was feeling to him leaving. Like, my mom was obviously like, son firstborn is leaving the house, whereas I was
Exactly.
rejoicing that I'm going to be the only child, and all attention is going to be on me. That these are different emotions. Okay, younger siblings get what I mean, but then it's sort of like, so that's when I sort of understood. And plus, I feel like I got this straight from my mom, because my mom's also one of the most understanding people you will ever find. So she'll know like that. Especially with me, she knows like that when something is wrong. So I feel, yeah, that's, I'm blabbering now. So Yohann, what about you? What's one skill that you got from your childhood?
It's a bit stupid, but it's, what do you say, a hard head mentality. So I'll just explain, because like it has certain interpretations to it. Uh, so I ride a bike a lot. Okay, anyone who knows me knows, like, wherever I go, even if it's a very short distance, a very long distance, name the place, I will be there, but not in a plane, car, uh, train, ship. I'll be there on a bike. That's one thing I love. And I've been in a lot of accidents, like accidents that are supposed to, stop me from riding. I'll give you a
I'm
very
not
recent
sure if we
example.
should laugh about that or pity about that. I'm not sure the emotion that we should be displaying right
I
now.
think it's amazing because he's just very stubborn. Like he's just
No,
going at it,
no, no, you can laugh about it because I laugh about it. I don't feel pity at all for that. So it's very odd. It's very odd. But I'll give you a very recent example. So in the month of January, so I met with a very I mean, people call it fatal, but I don't call it fatal so much. So there just happened to be a guy who's crossing on the road, and of course, I did honk, I pressed the indicator, I did all things that are supposed to be done on my side. He just comes and stands right in front of me. The bike collapses. I am thrown like 10 meters off the bike, and my hand splits into the bone is into. And I don't know. I just remember I'm sitting there on the sidewalk, and people are like, "Are you fine? Are you fine?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good." Uh, and then my boss, he comes with his car and he's like, "How are you able to handle this kind of pain?" And I was like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm good. I'm good. Where's my bike at?" The first question, I'm not bothered about me. I'm not bothered about how I feel. I'm not bothered about whether my bone is broken. I know my bone is broken. I'm just like, okay, fine. Where's my bike? How's my bike? How's my helmet? How's everything else? Like, is everything else fine? They're like, are you for real? And I'm like, yeah. How's my bike? I want to
The
know.
important follow-up question: what bike do you drive?
Oh, I drive a modified Yamaha FZS.
Ah, okay.
I mean, it's my life. I'll say that it's definitely my life. So even after that, like I went to the hospital, and then literally like 3 weeks later, I went to my own bone specialist. He has helped me in a certain case earlier, which I just fell on the stairs. The same accident, the same exact case. So I went to him, and he said, "Okay, 3 weeks we'll put a different cast. We'll make sure it's fine." After 3 weeks, he removes the cast and he tells me, "You're not supposed to ride the bike for like 6 months after the accident." And I'm like, "Gosh, 6 months, okay." Uh, Guess what? In a month's time, I came back to riding a bike.
I'm not sure we should be encouraging that. Yeah, we should not be encouraging that, but good for you.
Of course, my doctor doesn't know about it. My parents, of course, they know about it, but my dad is like, "Okay, if you can ride, go ahead." My dad is the most supportive person ever. Like, no matter what I tell him, like, even if I'm in a very bad state, he's like, "So you want to take your bike and go for a ride?" Because he knows that's exactly what helped me to calm down. That's
Yeah.
exactly what helped me. So he's like, "Here, take $1,000." I mean, now I don't need it, but at that point I needed it. So he's like, "Here, take $1,000 or 1,500. Go fill up a full tank and go, just go live your life." In the sense, like, just go for a ride, not
Yeah.
actually leave the house and go live your life. So of course, riding to me is a huge thing, and that skill built up like when I was small, when I was riding a cycle. Of course, when I was riding a cycle, I was not as crazy as I am now riding a bike. I was very well, sticking to rules and all of that. Of course, now I also stick to rules. I'm not trying to get any people after me, but I do stick to rules. Uh, but when I was riding a cycle, like I learned certain things, like balancing
Yeah.
and you know various traits, like how to take a deep turn, how to avoid certain situations, which if I started out on a bike, like without learning how to cycle, and then moving on to a my dad's old scooty, and then move out to the bike which I have now. If I started on the bike which I have now, I'll tell you, I would most probably be having all my bones broken. But so these skills like actually help me to keep moving on, because very recently there was a very very tough situation which came up in our office. Like, this particular investor, he was not too keen on talking to anyone else. He wanted to talk to someone new, and I happened to be there for 8 months, which I was the newest person ever. So I went to him and I spoke to him, and a challenge which people thought was very difficult for them, I just happened to be like, okay, I'm not taking no for an answer. Either you're joining with me, or you're
Yeah.
not leaving this room. So
True.
we had a very good conversation. I don't remember talking anything about business. Like, we just spoke a normal conversation about our lives, and at the end of the day, like, I think 30-40 minutes the entire conversation was going on, and he told, "Okay, fine, I'm investing, here you go." And everyone else are like, "How did you even make this happen?" I was like, "I didn't talk business. I
True.
didn't talk business. I just
Yeah.
made it happen." So, you know, being taking a lot of things as a fun, taking a lot of things as challenges even when they're not really challenges. Challenge in the sense, I don't mean challenges that stress you out, because
Yeah.
that's a lot of things which people get confused in. They think like, oh, a challenge is something that, may stress them out, is something that they cannot accomplish or something like.
Mhm.
Not those challenges. I'm not talking about hey, you are at this point in your life, I want you to reach this point in your life in like 5 months, which of course it's not possible. I
Yeah.
mean, if it's possible, if you are really, crazy hardworking and all of that, but of course, there's a lot of stress involved in that. And right now, I don't recommend people to take much stress in their life, especially when you're young. Enjoy your life. Your life is meant to be enjoyed. Like
Right.
you don't live your life to have stress at all. You live your life to have fun, do the things you love,
Mhm.
and at the end of the day, support your family, support yourself, and not be a burden to anyone. That's
Mhm.
what I would like to say. So
I
so
think to conclude this entire growing up session, I
mhm,
feel like there's both good and I feel like what I've learned after listening to both of you is there's both good and bad to growing up.
Mhm.
And growing up is just this wonderful part of life that everyone has to experience in order to become a better version of what they were, even if it does not seem so at the moment. But you just, you know, there's that thing, right, where okay, I'm not good now. I have to become a better version of me. And in order to do that, I need to grow up. So I feel like that's my takeaway. What's yours?
I feel, yeah, I would agree with that. Just, there might be a lot of hardships, but there's like also positives, and you can always find that, I always say that everything happens for a
For a reason.
reason. So it's like, even if it's something hard that you're facing while growing up, there's always like a better, more, there's something to come after that. That's going to be more in a positive light. So yeah, I don't know. That's
of course, those are
yeah.
very good takeaways. Mine would be just a little bit building upon that. So, when you're a kid, enjoy your kid life, like enjoy your
Yeah.
youth, enjoy
Mhm.
your childhood, anything. Don't think, okay, I have to become an adult.
Yeah.
You will
Yeah.
become an adult. You don't have to say you have to. You will
Yeah.
become it, and it's inevitable.
Yeah,
But when
enjoy
you're an
the
adult,
fun. Exactly. Adulthood will hit you like
Hard.
harder
Yeah.
and
exactly,
fast. You won't even expect it. So,
exactly. And when you're an adult, I'll just say enjoy your life.
mm,
Really, really enjoy your life. Don't think like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. Of course those things will be there, but you're going to accomplish it anyway. So
yeah.
just have fun. Don't
Sure.
be so uptight, don't be so serious about your
Mhm.
life and all of that. Have fun. The things will come to those who learn to have fun, learn
Yeah.
to you know not stress themselves out. I mean, take a look at all the good people. Like they don't stress themselves out like crazy, and
Yeah.
still you see they're having fun, they're enjoying their lives, they worked
Mm,
hard and they accomplished all of this. So
Maintain a balance,
yeah.
basically.
exactly, keep in a balance. Don't be too too much of a person who has a lot of fun and doesn't
Yeah.
do any work, because all
Mhm.
play and no work makes Jack a very dull boy.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody who's named Jack, by the
Mhm.
way, but still, like as I'm saying, learn to have a balance between both of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any other takeaways?
I don't think so. I
Yeah, I
think that's
think
it.
that's pretty
That's
much
part
it.
of
Yeah.
growing up. Yep.
Yep.
Perfect. So that officially brings us to the end of today's show. And a huge thank you to both Natania and Catherine for joining the show today.
Yeah.
And also, I'd like to say a huge thank you to our listeners for tuning in to this edition of the Reality Bang. Remember, guys, we air on Mondays at 4:30 p.m. And that's it. If you guys want to contribute to our topics, have anything to say, or just want to tell us what an amazing job we're doing, you can reach out to us at 6364252164. And that brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you so much and have a great day. And I'll see you next Monday.